All right, guys, here we go. We're going to do WillyMac apparently gets confronted by Hasan Piker fans or something on Tomfoolery's podcast or show or whatever it is. We're just going to watch the second half. I'm not going to watch the interview part. Also, somebody said that they don't like that I play video games while I do my content, and that I should make the video game screen smaller and the actual content screen bigger. So, maybe I'll put up a poll or something, and you can complain about that. I don't really know. We'll figure that out then. But anyway, let's get this party started.
They're going to challenge you. I have no idea.
Sure.
STV Philly.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, hi.
How's it going, man? Oh. Yeah, I
I
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Go on.
Good. Okay. Good. What's up, Willie?
Hey, how we doing?
I'm chilling.
What's up, Willard?
Of course, Tom. What's up, bro? We talk a lot more often, I'd say.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, WillyMac, we got you here. I figured it would be best to ask you these questions myself because a few nights ago, Tom was going over your debate with Hasan, and I called in and sort of got in a quasi debate with Tom over, how well I thought you did in that debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, people gave me a little bit of a criticism for my assertion. My assertion was that I think WillyMac was right, but I feel like from Hasan's perspective and Hasan's fans, they thought that he lost. You know what I mean? So, I got a little pushback for that. I still believe that. I mean, I love WillyMac. His follow-up video was incredible. I think that WillyMac is right now probably the most destructive force against the credibility of Hasan, and platforming WillyMac with Hasan platforming him destroyed him. But I think he looked bad to Hasan's audience. That's what my perspective was.
But so if you got a few minutes, this might take like 10 minutes or so. I'm not going to keep you stay on here forever, but there's two main points I wanted to make. And the first one is about the video that like jumped all this off, that predicted, like the one you released like a week ago, right?
Oh yeah, there was two videos, but yeah, I think it was the hour-long one was the big one.
Okay, shit. Well, I wanted to talk about the one called Hasan's horrible response and his radicalized audience.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so.
All right, hold on. I gotta see which one this is really quick. I just want to. I mean, not that I'm gonna remember it, but let's see. Hasan's horrible response. Not that it's going to matter. Okay, yeah, this is those. Okay.
So, there was a few points you made in there that I didn't agree with, but just to put all my cards on the table, like I've been called it. Yeah, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, my bad. My audio cut out for some reason. I don't know. What'd you say? There's a few points I made there.
Yeah, so there was a few points that you made in the video that I disagreed with.
Okay, what is it?
Yeah, so it's not so much your conclusion I disagree with, but there was a few points that kind of had me, just with a few questions. So let's just start out like this. So what was your purpose with the whole Hasan saga? Like, what were you trying to bring to light about Hasan? And like, I guess like the three main points you wanted to.
I think you said he's a lying piece of shit that loves to rile up tensions when horrific events happen, and that's it. And he's very anti-West, and he doesn't care. That's it.
Kind of.
The purpose was he was a big streamer that was covering a lot of that has a history of covering breaking news, and he's gotten at least on the geopolitical side, it wrong consistently because the sources he's citing is like all this weird alt media that really is not that credible. Usually it's just tweets. And I guess I just want to document being like, hey, look at this guy,
Look at this silly goose.
That's like dangerous.
Yeah, no shit.
What's dangerous?
Like spreading misinfo.
Yeah, spreading disinformation and being confident about it. I think that the example of the IDF, as Hasan saying it was an IDF strike on that hospital when it very clearly wasn't based on all our information, him doubling down consistently over and over again is a really big example. I mean, what happens from that? You just more the spread of anti-Semitism. I don't think it's unreasonable to say that Hasan is a big reason why there is an increased spread in anti-Semitism in the United States. I think hate crimes of like Jewish hate crimes are like 60% of hate crimes right now because of that.
Dude, hold on. If you're a big source of news and you got 20 or 30,000 people watching you for your news coverage, and you're constantly getting shit wrong, and your framing is entirely based around America bad, and that's as deep as you are, then yeah, I think that is a little dangerous.
Okay. Oh, that's understandable for sure. So you're saying that, spreading misinformation and being a propagandist, not necessarily like inherently being a propagandist.
Well, Hasan is admitted to being a propagandist. I think he's trying to seem like really intelligent, but being like, we're all propagandists, dude. Like, but he's not. Propaganda isn't supporting a side. Propaganda is intentionally labeling the other side in uncharitable light on purpose. Like, propaganda isn't just, you support one side. Hasan is a propagandist. But yeah, he's self-admitted, but okay. But I think that he thinks he's being like super intelligent when he tells us the way that he's a propagandist. It's like, no, we're all propagandists, bro.
but his form of propaganda.
I mean, I think being a
dangerous.
propagandist overall, if you're being a source of news, is seen as bad. Almost entire. You make it makes it sound like the government's paying you. You know, it makes it sound like you're being paid to have your opinion.
Sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't think
All
the
right.
way that
So
news
this
does
guy's playing the nice boy game. What happened? How does this go?
propaganda, or the way that a propagandist would do news, I should say. I don't think that it serves many people unless you're like already on their team.
Okay.
So I think I agree with you there.
Okay.
And then so I guess my next question would be, so you say it's dangerous, right? And could you think of anybody else that that kind of does the same thing or worse than Hasan?
Is his entire point going to be like, why don't you criticize these other people too? Okay. Cool point.
Does it worse?
Yeah.
I don't know who.
Like that has,
I don't know. I'd be talking a little out of pocket. I would say like Alex Jones is like kind of comparable. Like whereas like they're just going on about conspiracy theories half the fucking time there's breaking news.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All
But
right,
I mean,
so,
Let's see. What about Ben Shapiro? Who is he going to call out next?
like again, like I don't have.
This is the thing. Hasan isn't just a political commentator. Hasan is also in the drama sphere as well. And so, like, he's on the radar of political people and drama people. That's why Hasan gets so much criticism. So,
Like all the like I don't have all these guys documented out. He's the one I researched.
oh, understandable. So you're saying that,
Okay.
yeah. So I got you. I'm not asking like, well, why didn't you do this person? Why didn't you do this
It
person? I was
sounded
just
like you
wondering
were.
like where your bar for like dangerous is. Okay, so you said Alex Jones is another person that you would put in the same
I think
ballpark
I'll
as
lose
Hasan.
this.
I don't really have like I'm not really here to argue like to defend Hasan. So that's I just wanted to see where you were coming from. So now I'll get into like my main disagreements with the video.
Okay.
So all right, so there was a part in this particular video that Hasan. So you claim that Hasan said that Jidion was whitewashing history and that Hasan was being racist in his rhetoric. I'm paraphrasing, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to consider it racist when he says the word whitewashing. I mean, like, it sounds like he's trying to say that and then he literally says next he doesn't care about black issues. So, like, yeah, I think it's a racist dog whistle. Maybe it's not. Maybe he's just trying to reframing it differently. But I don't think it's unreasonable. I mean, you're talking about a black content creator saying that the black content creator doesn't care about black people or black issues, and then saying he's whitewashing things. It sounds to me like you're saying he's dancing for white people. So, sure.
basically that's what you were trying to say.
I mean, it's not what I said. He said that word for word. Right. He
so
said that he was whitewashing.
Right. So Hasan says Jidion is whitewashing history, and then you show a clip of Jidion
whitewashing the KKK.
Excuse me, whitewashing the video. The
Whitewashing the topic, which was that there was a situation where, like, a year prior to Gideon's video, a guy showed up to like the most racist town in America, and he just said like Black Lives Matter, held up a sign or something. Everybody called him like the N-word and a bunch of other stuff. And then Gideon went there to see if it was actually racist, and it found out that it was actually a town that was one town over, and blah 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 blah.
the KKK in that video. Excuse me, not his
Yeah.
video. Yes. Yes. I want to be very precise in my words.
Yeah, and he said it all before the video even really started. Yeah.
And then so Jidion says, I cannot put that connotation of the most racist town in America on this town, right? And then you come back and you say, now this is a quote that I wrote down. You said, Hasan didn't like Gideon's findings, so he frames him off rip as a white apologist. Then you say, then Hasan says the part about how Jidion is whitewashing history. And then you say that Hasan's moving the goalpost, right? And then, so just so we're clear of what we're talking about,
I have no idea.
Jidion made a response video to a video called The Most Racist Town in America. And Gideon's point was to go to that town and show that, look, guys, not everybody in this town is racist. Look, I've come across this person.
No. Hold on. That's the point.
No, Gideon went there to see if the town was as racist as it was, and then he found out that it wasn't. What is he talking about?
That was the result of Gideon's findings. I don't think his point was like to set out and do that.
Okay.
You know, if for instance, if he went to that town and everyone was calling them N-word,
Who is this guy?
like the the original.
Yeah, Gideon didn't have a vested interest in defending this town. He just went there to see what was up. That's all it was.
Claimed. Then I think Jidion would have made a video about that. It's just
Fair
the result of his research.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right. So
happening,
Jidion
man?
comes to the conclusion, like, I cannot put that connotation on this town.
Okay.
But the history of that town is documented, right? And then so
Where's the documentation? What do you mean?
Well, there's articles on like the history of the town. I mean, even
There's an article on the specific event that had happened where it was being called the most racist town. But what does he mean that there are articles on it? What is he talking about? What?
even the town's Wikipedia page goes into their like history of racism and how it's like a sundown town and how the population is like 99% white, which in and of itself isn't a problem, but it's like what how they treat those few black people that do live in that town. And there's article after article that goes into how the town is very notorious for
What is the town? What was the town specifically? because you're going to find everybody's history in America is going to be racist, obviously. So what is the town even? Because Zinc was the town where there's literal KKK members living in there.
Either race riots or like extremely racial incidents that kind of shunned black people away from this town, right? And
do you guys remember what the town actually was?
Okay, so and then you see in the video called "The Most Racist Town in America," you see the kind of like now, admittedly it's cut up and it's a 2-minute video, like you pointed out.
Yeah, can we set the framing here? The framing of this is
Yes.
there was a viral video that got 12 million views called the "I held a BLM sign in the most racist town in America."
Yes.
Right. The video is 2 minutes long.
Was it Harrison, Arkansas? Okay. Okay. I mean, how would you even find this? A Wikipedia page saying it's a sundown town? In the 1905 and 1909, white race riots occurred in Harrison, which drove away black residents, established the community as a sundown town. Okay, this is 1909. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Of course it's going to have a racist history. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Harrison's Community Task Force on Racial Issues was established in 2003 to promote diversity and respond to racial bias accusations against the city officials. Okay, so they made an active movement in 2003 to be less racist. Okay, so he's looking back at like over 100 years ago, calling it racist, but not looking at 20 years ago where they tried to reduce that racism. 20 years before this viral video even happened. I think that happened in 2020. So he's just trying to justify it. Like, of course, you're going to see racism in every state, especially in the South. But to say it's the most racist town in America, I mean, again, I don't think Jidion went there to try to make it seem like it wasn't racist. I think he just went there for a video, and then he was interested in what was going on.
And the video is framed as if everyone's driving by is just calling him the N-word. That's what the video is, and that's the expectation that's on the town. That's what Hasan watched. That's what Jidion watched. That's what was viral. So Jidion's question is, if I go to this town, will it be this way? Hasan gets frustrated because Jidion, upon arriving and like just walking around and doing his stuff, is like, bro, this is not at all how that video is depicted. So calling this the most racist town seems a little bit silly. I think that's fair because that's his experience in the town, right? If Hasan was citing Wikipedia pages about the town's history and that's where his argument was coming from,
it wasn't.
I'd say that that's a different criticism.
It wasn't coming from that. This was just like he was just criticizing the town in general.
But if you watch Hasan's videos, or
he was just being like a Jidion bad.
Streams, I should say. He's not doing that. It's not him citing these Wikipedia pages. He just cites the 2-minute video that went viral, and then he gets mad at Jidion for not carrying that narrative.
So I'm just going off the clips that you showed in the video. I'm not going off of anything else except for your video and the way you.
Well, maybe you should have watched the whole thing because I watched the whole thing. I watched Jidion's response. I watched the whole thing. So.
Right. I'm saying, like, you brought up all the Wikipedia clips, and I'm saying like.
Well, no.
That's not really what.
So Hasan says he says that just because the town doesn't yell slurs at every black person they see doesn't mean it's not racist, right?
Sure, and then also, but that is what the video portrayed of that town. That's number one. Number two, they found that there was an actual like white supremacist living over in the town over. I think it was Zinc, Arkansas. So that was kind of the whole point.
And you framed that as like his entire as his argument against Jidion. Like that was the clip you showed, and. Right. So okay.
Yeah.
So,
his Hasan's argument from that stream is racism can be hidden. So like a lot of racist white people aren't being openly racist.
That wasn't really his argument. I personally don't think that was Hasan's argument. I think that was Hasan just trying to disagree with Jidion because Jidion and Pokimane had like a little bit of a tiff earlier, and Hasan just doesn't like Jidion. I think that's all it really boiled down to. But
what Jidion's set out to discover, or what Jidion set out to see, is the video that went viral true? Is the video of that 2-minute video of people being blatantly, openly, and aggressively racist, is that true about this town? So like so Hasan has now shifted the goalpost in real time, changing to what video, like he changes the interpretation of what, like let me rephrase this in a way that's simple. The video that Jidion's trying to research is people being openly and aggressively racist, saying the N-word, right?
Yes, from what I saw from your video.
Jidion is going to study that, and now Hasan, since Jidion has not discovered that and says that's a bad rep for the town, Hasan's now shifting the goalpost to, well, these people are all actually just doing it in private. Well, that's not really the same thing. That's not what, saying that Jidion's whitewashing it because he's not like secretly like finding these like cult groups in private. That's not really.
Let me ask you this.
That's not what he set out to do.
So in Jidion's video, did he describe the history of the town and like the accusations and like everything that like the history of the town basically, like all the
I don't think
racial
so.
Why would he need to describe the history? This is what happened. I'm going to tell you everything right now. There was a viral video that like people were being really racist to this white guy holding up a Black Lives Matter sign. Jidion went there to make a video to see if it was actually that racist. When he got there, the people weren't super horribly racist. And then they found out that there was a super racist town, one town over. And then he went over there and started investigating that and engaging with that. That was the whole video. Hasan, from the start, before anything was ever said, was just saying Jidion's going to whitewash this video, and said Jidion doesn't really care about black issues. He's being racist, in my opinion. You're telling a black person they don't care about black issues. Why? Because they make fucking pranks. So that was the issue. It was bad faithing it. Now again, it might just be because he loves Pokimane so much he'll defend her on anything, and since Jidion had just had beef with Pokimane, even though they had settled it, it might have just been Hasan, just being like, I don't like him because of that. And I tend to believe it's that, but he still invalidated some black guy's experience and being black because he doesn't agree with his stance.
No, I think it was purely.
And then he made like points like, yes, you don't have to say the N-word to be racist. But that was the expectation that was set in this town based on that viral video. So, yeah.
Like I've said, it's purely to research the viral video. That's the entire thesis of the video.
Yeah,
it's a viral video, and that's it.
And then he said, I cannot put that connotation on this town. That was Jidion's quote that you showed in your video.
Yeah, it was incredibly condescending to Jidion.
Or the most racist town in America.
That video was a bad representation of the town. That's Jidion's argument.
Yeah, and okay, right. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so Hasan's point was that, right, like if we're being fair, his point was that just because you didn't experience
that wasn't his point. No, Hasan was just being a contrarian to everything that Jidion said.
This particular thing on this particular day does not mean
that's not his point.
That the town
Isn't it so interesting how everything gets phrased as so reasonable after the fact by people who haven't even watched the video, like whoever the fuck this person is. That's it. Like you go watch the original video, go watch what Jidion has to say about it.
Is somehow now not racist, right? Like I don't think that this is too hard of a concept to understand. Of course,
well,
Jidion's giving anecdotal evidence. Of course, this other person's giving anecdotal evidence.
Okay.
But there's a little bit more to that than just
I'm sorry, you cut out on Discord one more time. You said it just because.
I'm sorry.
Does not mean. You said does not mean. I didn't.
Okay, so just wait. What part did I cut off?
He said that they both have anecdotal experiences, but just because this person had an anecdotal experience where it wasn't the most racist doesn't mean that they aren't actually the most racist. He's saying there's more context outside of just these two YouTube videos.
Again, you're doing the Hasan thing, though. You're doing the Hasan thing right now, where that's not what Jidion was there to discover, right? Like when people...
The Hasan thing he's really doing is he's rewriting history in like a nice, reasonable way when that's not what happened. Like, go watch the full video. I'll put mine in the description and you can watch mine. Okay, because it's pretty good. What the hell is this?
And that saw that video, they were expecting it to be the most racist town. Like they were expecting people to be blatantly saying the N-word to them because that's what that video portrayed. Now, if you're going to go ahead and like do a deep dive study and argue it's the most racist town because when you poll people privately, they're different, then
guys, it's called The Racism of Hasan. Jidion Responds. What a beautiful title. This guy, I come up with good titles, dude.
Sure, but Hasan didn't do that. Hasan was just mad that the narrative of this town.
No, I think you guys agree. I think you guys agree because you just said like.
How do we agree?
Because, well, let me ask you this: do you think that just yelling the N-word at every black person you see is the only way a town could be racist?
No, that's not, dude. You need to listen. It is not. That is not Jidion's argument.
He's a Hasan fan. He's not going to listen.
Not
his argument was that he did not experience anybody yelling slurs at him, basically. Therefore, this town is not
right.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Is your question? Is your question that even though he didn't experience a bunch of people yelling the N-word at him, it could still be the most racist town in America? That wouldn't change it, and that like.
Well, yes, but I'm also going off of WillyMac's argument in the video was that that Hasan was just framing Jidion off rip as a white apologist. That's what.
Yes, because he doesn't like Jidion. Because he just got into controversy.
Okay, but he wasn't though. But he wasn't though. He explicitly went into detail onto why
he said he was white.
Jidion is wrong.
KKK. Do you not feel like that is doing that? I don't get it.
Okay, so right, so I don't. Okay, do you know about this town, WillyMac? Like, I
mean, you could. It was so funny. Is if the guy actually watched the video, you could make an argument right there. Like one of the criticisms that even ABBA gave to. Well, am I going to lose this? I'll be so upset. That even ABBA gave to Jidion, was that it did seem like he was, when he went there, he had this interview with a KKK member, and he made him seem like way too reasonable. And that was one of the arguments that was actually brought up. And it's like, you gave this guy a platform, and et cetera, et cetera. He could have went with that argument. You could have made that point. You could be like, well, he did do this, and you could have defended Hasan, because at the end, that was at the end of the video, where like he had a nice he had too nice of a conversation with like an actual KKK member. But Hasan didn't see that part yet. He was just doing as much framing as he could, like as much disingenuous framing as he could from the start, to try to label him a bad person. And then that just happened to fall into his lap at the end to make it seem justifiable, even though it wasn't, So thank you so much for the 8-month small gut from Tamassive. Jidion gave Pokemon some of that raw dog merch. Incredible stuff.
I want to
no, dude,
sourcing shit on you. Do you know anything about this,
though, bro?
No, I got you. Hasan, his point of his video was to debunk Jidion's video, and the point of Jidion's video was that he did not.
Hasan, you have to understand something that I don't know how this guy doesn't understand this. When this is the same thing with me too. Myself, Hasan, a lot of content creators like that. We don't pre-watch videos, which means we're going into something baseline. Like, right, we're just going into something, reacting to something in real time. We're not educated in what we're watching. We might be educated in a subject matter that we're like a general subject matter, but we don't know what's going to come next. So we come into videos like that. He had no idea what Jidion's video was about other than the title. So him going into it, there was no intent. Like, his intention was to discredit Jidion. He didn't know what was going to be said before he said he's whitewashing it. It was like less than 2 minutes into the video where he was already like, oh, he's whitewashing it. He doesn't care about black issues. Because he's sitting there and he doesn't like Jidion. That's it. What the hell is this guy talking about?
Experience the most racist town in America as the first video laid out. He did not experience that.
Exactly. That's the only point.
So do you not see how that's... Wait. Let me...
No, we're here. We're at the disagreement.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes. Do you not see how... Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're now saying that secretly in this town, or not secretly, but you're saying like there's other ways this town could still be the most racist town, right? That's what you're saying. Absolutely, I'm saying that's true. Sure. I don't know. That could be true. But I'm saying now what we're doing is we're talking past completely what Jidion's thesis was. We're now going like beyond what Jidion set out to do. So now this is going into like a path of irrelevancy where it's like none of this shit really matters because that's not what Jidion was trying to discover. He was debunking A, and now you're going farther and saying like, what about B? It doesn't go to B. And if Hasan wants to go and put in the research to see if B is true, he can do that, but he doesn't. Instead, he gets mad that Jidion's discovery wasn't what he wanted it to be. So now he's just calling him racist and coming up for new excuses why this town is racist. He doesn't know.
He called Jidion racist?
No, he's saying he's whitewashing. My bad if I misspoke. He's saying he's whitewashing the KKK or whatever. Like he's now like putting Jidion's.
Well, I mean, saying somebody's whitewashing something would be, you would assume that they're calling that person racist, no?
A word in a bad light simply because he's mad that Jidion didn't say these people were all as racist as the one video depicted.
I do think the implication is that Jidion is like an Uncle Tom.
Yeah, he's essentially saying Jidion's an Uncle Tom is what he's like putting out there in that video.
Well, so. Okay, you'd have to draw a lot of inferences to get there.
Well, you'd have to actually watch the video to know what you're talking about. So, like, okay,
hold on. We're saying a black guy is whitewashing the KKK. I mean, you don't have to draw many inferences.
But he was.
How do you know?
You are saying he's an Uncle Tom, though.
No, I'm not. I never said that.
How does he know that he's whitewashing? That is what an Uncle Tom would be. How does he know he was whitewashing the KKK? Like, what's this guy's supporting like argument for that?
No, those are two different things.
Interpretation there? What's the good faith interpretation of what Jidion's doing there? He's just
how is you're saying that somebody's whitewashing the KKK? A black person's whitewashing the KKK? That makes him an Uncle Tom. No, do I have to define Uncle Tom? Like a black man considered to be excessively obedient or servile to white people? Wouldn't that fall under that? A person regarded as betraying their culture or social allegiance? That's literally a black guy running defense for the KKK would be an Uncle Tom. What are you talking about?
Stupid. He doesn't know.
No, he has a white audience and he wants to
I honestly don't like. I'm sure Jidion has white people in his audience, but to say he has a white audience based on what? Like, what are you talking about? Why do you think he has a white audience? He does prank content. I'm sure plenty of black people love prank content. What are you talking about? You think it's just I doubt that his audience is disproportionately white. I just disagree. I disagree with that. What are you talking about? There's probably just a bunch of young boys that just love fucking prank content. I mean, now it's religious content, but
appeal to his white audience, and he
You
wants
think
to
Jidion's audience is just all these white people?
What?
And like,
well, in percentage
this
wise,
is so silly, dude. Now we're getting
no, don't percentage wise. Proportionality, the bullshit. I doubt that they're mostly white proportionately. Get the fuck out of here.
wait, is it silly or
Yeah,
this guy's a fucking baby.
So the point you were making in your video was that Hasan was being unfair to Jidion because he took his video out of context. That's basically what you're saying, is that he made Jidion's video appear to be something that it wasn't, or that wasn't even the goal of it.
Yes.
I'm saying he started bad faithing and talking past Jidion's thesis and started like applying shit that wasn't what Jidion set out to do, to paint him in a bad light because he was mad he didn't call this town racist. Yes.
Okay, so so what you're doing right now is you're putting words, and I see people do this a lot.
I didn't
put words in his mouth.
Oh
yes, you did. You just said that he said that Hasan's racist and that he doesn't like the outcome of his video, and he's just mad because Jidion didn't report the way that he wanted him to. But he didn't say any of that.
If he calls him a white apologist, isn't that what he's doing?
Okay, so no, that's not what he's doing. He said exactly what it is that Jidion was doing.
Okay, then
like there's no other extract.
But you don't know that. You admitted you didn't watch the video, so how do you know what he's actually doing?
He's just a white apologist.
He was white. He was. You said that that's what Hasan said. Hasan never called him a white apologist. He said he was whitewashing.
He said he's whitewashing the KKK and that he doesn't care about black issues as a black man. Those are the things that Hasan had said.
Yo, isn't it?
You said Hasan didn't like Jidion's findings, so he frames him off.
No, he didn't. That's not what happened. He didn't like the. Well, I guess that's what he said, but that's not what happened. He didn't like Jidion from the start, so he just bad faith the fuck out of him.
As a white apologist, and then you show a clip of Hasan saying that Jidion is whitewashing the KKK, and that was your like proof
there's two different. I might have to rewatch that, but it's the same thing, isn't it?
No,
whitewashing the KKK sounds way worse than being a white apologist.
I don't surely
know.
That's a way.
Anybody whitewashing the KKK would be like some kind of an apologist. What are we talking about here?
Which one's worse or
We're
not?
playing like moron semantics with this guy. Who's this guy?
But that's not what he said. And what you're saying he said is not what he said.
This guy just loves sucking Hasan's cock. That's all it is. Okay, like cool. We already know his intention.
And actually, what he did say.
Like,
what did he say then? What I swear
he said that Jidion is whitewashing the KKK.
That's terrible. Though, what are we talking about? I don't get it. I don't get your point.
That is. I admit that is bad, but that is not calling Jidion an Uncle Tom.
Yes, it is.
But that's not even my point. My point is that.
But okay.
I don't understand how you think it's not calling him an Uncle Tom, but let's just move past it.
Okay. All right. Then you said Hasan was being racist because he said that's the most Caucasian thing I've ever heard in my life, in response to somebody making the comment of, Jidion's video of bringing racial harmony is somehow racist. And then Hasan says that's the most Caucasian take I've ever heard in my life, right?
Yeah.
And you said that he's being racist by saying that. Because
he's literally like saying the only way you can have that take is if you're a dumb white person.
No, okay. Tom, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Have you ever said that's the whitest thing I've ever heard in my life?
Yeah, but he's being hateful when he means that. He's not just making a joke, bro.
So now the argument is that Hasan hates white people?
I mean, when he sits there and goes,
he hates Western people. Why even? This conversation's already exhausting, dude.
Anglo-Saxon filth scumbags. Like, yeah, it's like, I would argue, like, yeah, I think he's kind of a dick. I think he's got some weird shit going on there, yeah.
Okay.
There is
it's
like
literally
kind
a slide
of
in the video. The slide in the video is like, he's kind of racist, bro.
Okay. What I think of is like the kind of like pattern from the left where we see like Candace Owens, Jesse Lee Peterson, like these people who tend to fall more on like the white side of the arguments, and then they label them
I love white people.
as white apologists or
love
things like this. And even Hasan has a history of getting into it with people like Irrelevant for saying he's okay with Destiny saying the N-word, and that I think he literally called him an Uncle Tom, maybe. I could be wrong, but pretty much
I don't think so.
That back then a while ago. So it was I think that's kind of like might be the assumption people make.
I mean, if you watch the original video, there's a whole thing about all the just unhinged shit he says about like just being an Anglo-Saxon dirtbag, and the Anglo-Saxon mind is subservient and shit like that. And he's not really joking. Like, he seems kind of serious. But I mean, I don't think it's.
What's the point of this conversation? Like, this seems like we're just here to try to pick at it to make Hasan seem like a nice guy.
That's serious. I don't give a shit if he hates white people. Whatever.
Okay. All right.
This dude Philly also defended Kyrie Irving when he shared a film that denied the Holocaust, claiming it was an anti-Semitic based. Okay.
Like I said, I don't want to stick on this point too long. I just want to be clear of what I was saying. You framed it as Hasan was, you said that Hasan was framing Jidion as a white apologist.
Yes. I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, but really what he was doing is saying really what Jidion was doing, which was going to this town that has been deemed the most racist town in America and sitting
by social media video
there and saying, oh, nobody was racist to me, so I conclude that...
No, he went there and found that it was actually a town over that was actually racist, and they would go to that town to protest. If you watch the video, you know that. I'm pretty based, guys.
This town is not racist.
And I feel like what Jidion's doing is on-the-ground journalism, right? Like actual on-the-ground journalism.
So was the first person that did the video.
All right, the first person's insanely cut up video, dude. You have no idea what the context is going on around that video.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point. That video is viral, and you can interpret that. It's like, well, what was happening there? Was he really just standing there, and all these people were screaming the N-word at him? So that's what Jidion went to discover.
Well, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. He's holding up this is what I imagine happened. He's holding a Black Lives Matter sign, and racist people come up and scream at him. Possibly people from the town over, like hearing word of mouth that this guy's standing there. You know how these types of videos work all the time. When people do this on the street type content, they stand there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then they try to get enough footage to portray a particular narrative, and they'll portray that narrative in a very shorthand. So like, hey, I was here for 10 hours, and here's a 2-minute video. Like, yeah, for sure. That's how on the ground videos work. That's the whole point of them. That's exactly what Sneeko would constantly do. He'd talk to people for like 10 hours a day, and then he'd make like a half-an-hour video about how dumb women are. Like, yeah.
That's what made Jidion's video so interesting.
So wait, you're asking, was there something in the first video that they didn't show that happened? But to Jidion's video, it's not the same question. It's Jidion is showing what actually happened. That's what
I mean, Jidion's video is like an hour-long documentary where he provides like sufficient context of what's going on.
I think Jidion's video is like 15 minutes. I don't think it was an hour. I could be wrong about that. I'll go look it up, but I'm pretty sure it was like 15 minutes. I wonder if... I'm not even trying to be rude. Did anybody watch the video? Or I'm gonna go check it out right now. Oh, it's Papa Gut. Jidion's video is 21 minutes long. That's how much it looks like there. Oh, I don't have. Oh shit, guys, I wasn't putting stuff in the thing here at this point. But I watched. This is Hasan reacts to the Jidion video, and the Jidion video here is shown to be 21 minutes and 7 seconds long. So I don't. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's not like a 2-minute. Like montage.
Yeah, and I've seen other documentaries on that town that state.
Well, those documentaries.
What other documentaries are there in that town? Wait, what's the town name again?
Make a really good argument for why it's a bad racist town, right?
Okay.
Getting mad at Jidion for his findings is silly.
What's the town name again? Somebody told me. What? There are other documentaries on this town? Really? I don't know if I believe that.
Because
his findings are stupid and childish. It's flawed. That's like coming.
You haven't explained how.
Harrison, Arkansas.
It's bad.
Okay, if I go to Israel, and nothing happens to me, can I now say that this is not a war-torn country or that there's no conflict going on?
What?
Because I didn't see anything. I went to the nice part.
If the video, hold on. If there's a video that goes viral and it's like average day in Israel, and it's everyone just fist fighting in the street and lighting each other on fire, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. I gotta go see what this is like. And you go there and it's not. It's like fucking normal. Well, then your video has a good finding. Then you're kind of like, that's a good video. Yeah, you're proving that this.
Was it Harrison, Arkansas? What is he referring to? What is What is he referring to?
So basically,
let's see. Okay. Let's see. He's in. Okay, so he is in Harrison. Okay, cool. All right. What other documentaries are you referring to?
This isn't every day.
Okay, WillyMac, I came into this hoping that you weren't.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be nice here. I was hoping that you would think a little bit more critically than this. So
I just don't understand what you're.
Why bother talking to this guy? He's just a condescending dick. That's all it is.
Clearly with me on it.
Because Jidion is clearly trying to whitewash that town, and you're calling out Hasan for pointing out that's what Jidion is doing, and you're calling him like
it's just so
racist
bad faith to say that about Jidion. It's just you don't like his findings. If that's his findings, what do you want him to do about it? Should he lie?
Well, if Hasan doesn't like his findings, what should he do? Should he lie?
Well, Hasan is lying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But he's not lying. That is what Jidion. But that is what Jidion did.
Okay.
He went to a town.
You haven't even explained how he did this,
because he went to a town. Because you said you didn't want me to bring up the history of the town and anything off of the video.
Yeah.
I'm just going. So from what you showed in the video, Jidion went to a town and didn't experience any racism, and then planted his flag and said, "Therefore, this town is not racist." And
that's not what he did. He went to the town. He didn't experience any racism, but then he talked to the people about like why it's called that, and they talked about how the town over Zinc was the one with like KKK members living there and how they give their town a bad rap. That's what happened in the video. So,
and Hasan disagrees with that and says, okay, you're whitewashing the whole history of the town. Do you think he's just like making up that do
you think Hasan even knows about the history of the town when he's making his video?
No way. This town has a history of extreme racism. I don't think
Hasan's never made that point. He doesn't know anything about the town.
Hasan did not go through and add all this extra context for why this town is racist by pulling up Wikipedia articles. He just was mad that Jidion's video was that. If somebody else made a video being like, this is why the town's bad, and gives like this real big historical perspective, and then like talks about how like, all right, modern day it's different, but there's still like remnants of this here, and this is why this is the most racist town. That's a lot more logical thing to do than to see Jidion's video and be like, he's whitewashing fucking the KKK. I mean, that's insane, bro. That's because of the most bad faith thing ever.
Well, so let's say Hasan's already been over those videos.
Here. I don't want to go again. In the
let's say Hasan's already been over those videos. He's already seen the articles. He's already read them on stream. And now he thinks that there's pretty like concrete evidence that this is a super racist town. But then Jidion comes out with his video and he thinks this is going to make
that didn't happen. So
make it to where people are less likely to believe all of these other articles, all of these other videos. Do you think Jidion's video could do harm to all of the other information that people have put out there?
Yes.
Sure. Okay.
That question was from me. Yes.
Willie,
what was the question? Can you go again?
Do you think Jidion's video would do harm to all of the other information and context that's out there about this town?
It keeps cutting out. Do you think Jidion's video would do harm to like the world?
Not the world, but to all of the other like information, all of the other videos, all of the other articles that people have put out about this town?
I don't know. It's just another perspective. Like I don't get why like him showing his perspective and experience going to this town is bad. Like I just don't get it. If that's his experience when going to a town, that's his experience. I mean, is he supposed to lie? Like that's what I don't get. He's doing on the ground journalism. He's giving his experience. There could be reasons for why you're like, this isn't a complete conclusive view of this town entirely. But I don't think it's like I don't think it's fair to be like, well, Jidion's video sucks because his experience isn't what I wanted it to be. Like that's
okay. So my main critique was with your coverage of that situation, not really who's right, who's wrong. It's just the way you framed it.
What? Well, how could you? What are you criticizing then? If it's not about who's right or who's wrong, what the fuck what are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense.
How did I cover it wrong? He's framing Jidion as Uncle Katam because he's mad.
Uncle Katam, baby.
Okay, you didn't demonstrate that in the video. So let's just move on to the next.
What are we talking about? Okay, let's move on.
You did not demonstrate that in the video.
I strongly agree. I feel like you will not find people that agree with you on that at all. But go on.
Well, I don't base my opinion on how many people agrees with me. Is that what you do, WillyMac?
I'm
just find the most
agreeable. Oh my god, this guy's such a goober.
Agreeable opinion and just go with that.
Okay.
Like, no, I don't. I think it's logical because I don't think you're coming from a logical place, and I don't think you're going to convince anybody.
Bro, the guy's just a Hasan fucking dick rider. He's just gonna be he's a debate pervert. You could tell by the way he talks. He's just a debate pervert, dude. The new vernacular for Papa Gut.
Any sort of reason.
It's not my job to convince anybody. It's your job to convince me, and you didn't do a good job.
Okay,
what's the job to convince you, bro?
Well, if you're making a video about how Hasan is bad in doing this, I would appreciate if you would demonstrate to me how he's.
I mean, to be honest with you, it sounds like neither WillyMac nor this guy actually watched the entire video. Not to be a dick, because WillyMac said it was like an hour long when it was 21 minutes long, or maybe he's just referencing. I think Jidion's video was like an hour and 40 minutes long or something, reacting to Hasan reacting to his video. So I don't know, but
he's wrong or whatever, and I don't think he did.
But WillyMac is still correct. I'm more correct though because I'm smarter than everybody in the whole world. I'm the best in the world. Just kidding.
If you're gonna,
I love you.
Like,
no. It's not. It's not. If I'm going to like you're the content creator, and I'm also a content creator. So I understand what our responsibilities are, and it's not just to like infer a bunch of stuff. And no, if you want to prove a point, prove the point. And I just don't think you did that.
Yeah.
I would say that if you have an audience of 100,000 people and you film a white sheep, there's going to be people that sit there and go, that is a black dog. Like there's just stupid people, and I would argue that I just think you're talking from a dumb place here. We're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you can. I think you aren't making any sense. I don't think there's a better way to describe it.
So like I said, I agree with a lot of the video, but there were a few points that I think were.
Well, what do you agree with? Because I feel like he doesn't agree with a lot of the video. I feel like this guy like literally eats Hasan's debate tactics of like, well, we agree mostly when you don't. He did that to Ethan all the time. He did that to WillyMac a lot of the times too. I don't think that he actually thinks that.
In context, that being one of them. And then the second part was where you were talking about Hasan wouldn't respond to the Dylan Burns video.
Yeah.
why didn't you include that Dylan and Destiny are friends, and also that girl Anna is a DGG or like a hardcore?
Why is it
What does that matter? What does that change about anything? The fact that like they talked to Destiny. Like I know he's gonna go with the Destiny's just trying to bad faith him, but he's not. I mean, he maybe. I don't think so though. Not from what I've seen. Okay, Hasan in his conversation with Ethan, or I know with WillyMac, left in a little bit of a he like literally made this really light comment about how, and I remember you can go watch my video covering them talking about it. This light comment about how it was justified for Russia to take land from Ukraine, even though he knows the context that Russia genocided a bunch of Ukrainians through starvation and stealing their food so they can implant Russians and say, oh, this is our land now. So, like, he obviously does not give a shit about Ukraine or Ukrainian people. It's just very clear to me, at least.
Matter if they're friends.
Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean?
Why does it matter if he's friends with Destiny? I don't get it.
Because what you said was that Hasan was just running from this video and running from this like narrative that
I'm saying
that he couldn't defend. Like he was wrong about the Ukraine war, and there's a bunch of people in the video proving that he was wrong.
Yes.
And he was just so scared to engage with it that he
wrote them all off. He wrote off actual Ukrainians, calling the video psychopathic. When you're talking about Ukraine and Russian propaganda, having actual Ukrainians that lived there, their perspective is probably pretty valuable and can probably add to that conversation. That's my argument. And he writes it all off as psychopathic because they disagree with him. That's a silly thing.
So that's the disagreement. That's the disagreement. I don't think he dismissed it because they disagree with him. I think like I said, exactly I just gave you the reason.
Well, then why did he call it? Why would it be psychopathic for his words?
Deflection. He was deflecting.
What?
What are you talking about?
I just
what?
I just think that would be important context to put in there if you're just saying like he's
deflecting. Who's deflecting what? I'm so confused. What is he talking about?
Out dismissing it.
Why would that be context? If Hasan doesn't say that, how the fuck would why would it matter? Why does it matter if he was friends?
All right, I don't want to go into the whole history of Destiny Hasan, but
no,
it matters immensely.
Like, wait, why would this matter? I don't want to talk about it, dude. What the fuck? Who is this guy? What is happening, bro? He's such a goose.
Let's say Dylan's best friends with Destiny and Hasan and Destiny. I know they hate each other for whatever reason. I don't fucking know, right? They hate each other. Well, if Dylan's coming with a reasonable argument, and it makes sense, why can't Hasan just engage with that in good faith, and why can't Dylan just engage?
Well, you've been doing YouTube for 5 years, right?
Yeah.
So you know about like relationships with friends and relationships with enemies and who's critiques.
Yeah.
Yes, we understand that people who are friends tend to be more charitable against each other, and then vice versa. I get that, but what specifically was Dylan Burns wrong about? I don't know. Nothing. I don't get it.
People that fucking hate my guts all the time, dude. It's not a big deal.
It's not about talking to people that hate your guts. It's about like the motivations of the motivations behind the people making a video.
But wouldn't somebody hating your guts motivate them to make a video that's in bad faith?
And right or wrong,
isn't that your entire argument?
I don't think Hasan's motivation was that that these criticisms are just beyond reproach, and that he's
they are for him because he couldn't hold to any of those criticisms because his entire perspective is West bad.
Like he's just completely wrong, but he doesn't want to admit that he's completely wrong.
Let me just tell you, the world is overcorrecting. Hasan has been getting away with being a fucking piece of shit for so long, and now the world's overcorrecting, and they're noticing Hasan is a big piece of shit. And they're pushing back harder and harder, and he's getting dumpstered. That's what's happening. That's what is happening, guys. That's it.
And
why don't you think that he's got a pattern of behavior doing that?
It could be a reason. I just think. All right, so let me ask you this. And I think this will clear up everything for me.
So just keep moving on to another point when you can't just hold your own. Okay.
Did you go into this video already hating Hasan when you were making this video?
No, I don't hate anybody.
Dude, he's just it's everything is just going to be a dig to try to reduce WillyMac's credibility instead of actually engage with what's going on.
Okay. So, would you consider yourself unbiased?
Yeah, well, during the research period, I would say I'm unbiased, and then when I make the video and actually write the script, I would say
nobody's fully unbiased. It doesn't matter though. What specifically is Hasan saying that's like that or WillyMac saying that's wrong about Hasan?
I am biased because I'm giving my opinion then, but I'm not unfair. I don't think I'm unfair. I think my conclusions are. I think my conclusions are sound, right? I do the research, and then I form my opinion, and I think that's how everybody should inform their opinion.
Okay, cool.
Me too. I agree with you there, but I don't think you did a good job of presenting this video.
Okay, why?
You gotta name something though. You gotta
based on what?
I just named two different things. You disagree with me on both.
Hold on.
I can move on to another thing if you want. Missing context.
What context? What context were we missing? What are you talking about?
Can I add to that Ukraine thing real quick?
You literally said you didn't watch the Jidion video or Hasan's video on Jidion. So what context could you even realize that's missing or not? You don't even know. What are you talking about?
You said I'm missing context by not. Dylan made a video interviewing Ukrainians, showing them Hasan's take on Russia and giving them, saying a lot of Russian propaganda, right?
Right.
And Dylan having Ukrainians speak on their own play. I don't think how is that like, and then like you're saying the missing context there is I need to say like Dylan is friends with Destiny, which like how the fuck would I even know that? And two, why does it matter? It shouldn't matter.
I honestly didn't even know that they were friends. I thought that they didn't hate each other, but I thought that they weren't huge fans of each other. I mean, I that's what I thought, but I could be wrong. I mean, whatever.
Well, if
I don't get how that you're saying that I'm like missing context, and the context is Dylan's friends with a guy that hates Destiny, and now that means his Ukraine video is invalid.
And also the main person being interviewed in the video is a DGGer. Like,
what though?
There was like 4 people being interviewed.
What she's saying
because they're more
the person. She becomes the main person now because she's attached to Destiny in order to exaggerate his perspective here. That's what he's doing.
Dude, hold on,
bro.
If Hitler comes out and Hitler says murder is bad, just because he's Hitler doesn't mean it's wrong? Or is Hitler right on? Is that a true statement? Like stuff can come from a bad person, right? This person can be a bad guy, but if they're right, they're right. You know, like
so. What do you think my criticism is? What do you think my criticism?
I love Hasan's cum. I think is his criticism. So
your criticism is that this person is a Destiny fan, so therefore Hasan can't watch that video because that person likes Destiny, and that's a fucking stupid argument.
That is
okay. So one, that's not my argument.
That is your argument. If that's not your argument, then you have no idea how to communicate because that is literally your argument.
I'm confused here.
Okay, so you presented it as if Hasan didn't want to confront the facts of the videos simply because he knew he's wrong and that he thinks that.
Yeah, probably. Thank you so much for the 11-month sub from Hannah Witt from Large Gut. Happy Thanksgiving, Papa. Almost a year. Play games, listen to debates, have a good time. Your content keeps me going. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Hannah. I really appreciate that. See, I have girls in my audience, guys.
People are just psychopathic or psych.
That's what Hasan said. Those are his words.
Right. Okay. I understand that's his words. But as a fair, person, an unbiased person, could you think of any other reasons why he wouldn't want to address that video?
Am I supposed to read his mind? I got to come up with reasons for Hasan.
You just did earlier when you said.
No, he didn't. You don't have to. Hasan responded to it and gave his perspective. If his reason is because he didn't want to engage with something that's Destiny, then he should have said it. I don't care. What are you talking about?
You just read his mind when you said he thinks Jidion is an Uncle Tom and he thinks he's
I didn't.
He did not read his mind.
But he was whitewashing the KKK.
That doesn't equal Uncle Tom. So back to this.
In what world does that not equal Uncle Tom, dude? You're the only guy in the world that would think that. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. Well, if we can extrapolate that, then you shouldn't find it so crazy to be able to extrapolate this, brother. Like you're trying to have it both ways. On one hand, you're saying,
what are you talking about?
If you would listen, I would tell you. On one hand, you're saying, I can't read Hasan's mind, right? So I don't know what he's thinking. On the other hand, you're saying
I can do that.
Well, I can't. He's saying this, but he could mean this. He's saying no. He never said Uncle Tom. But you said that
whitewashing the KKK. That's the same thing.
No, it's not, Willie. It's really not.
Okay, how can you do that and it not be Uncle Tom? Can you explain that to me?
I don't think Jidion's an Uncle Tom. That's how. And he did. That's how.
How can you do that and not be an Uncle Tom? Okay. How is he not then?
Because an Uncle Tom is somebody who specifically caters to white people and their political.
But wouldn't whitewashing the KKK make you that person?
And you said his audience is all white. And keep going. You are saying he's an Uncle Tom. That's exactly what you're doing. Do you realize that?
Now you're putting words in my mouth because
no. You said
whitewashing.
I'm pretty sure Hasan says those exact words.
It feels like saying whitewashing to an all-white audience is exactly what you just described. No?
Yes, you're calling him an Uncle Tom because that's what Uncle Tom is.
No, Jidion went to a town and said, "I didn't experience racism, therefore there is no racism."
How am I doing this?
That in itself,
this is crazy,
bro. Do you think you? Okay, listen.
Okay.
I do have another caller. We gotta.
No, let's go to the next point. Billy, go to the next point. I don't want to kick you.
I didn't mean to interrupt y'all Glaze session. Go ahead.
Wait, he said 10 minutes. I
mean, dude, I just can't help him if he's gonna be that wrong. Like, it's just.
Was that the whole one with him? Is there a different fan now?
You gotta engage. Philly, I don't hate you, bro, but look back at what you said. Look back at this stream when you cool off, dude. I'm telling you, you ain't making sense, bro.
Okay.
Not a
no hate at all. I'm just saying that did not make sense.
Okay. What's the next one?
You're on mute, homie.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So on that last point, the person who was there.
This guy sounds like a hall monitor.
I think he seems to be confusing what Jidion's goal was, because he was saying that the video doesn't prove that the town is not the most racist town.
And I agree with that.
America.
I would agree with that statement.
Yeah. But I think Jidion's point was that he just wanted to see if his experience would be the same as what was in
the viral video. That's it. Yeah. That's the whole point. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
I guess.
But
sure.
the two main things I wanted to bring up, and by the way, I agree with you on like most of your video, the vast majority.
Brooklyn, your mic is like a little overpowering. I turned it down, but it's still.
Give me 1 second. I think I might be using the wrong mic. My bad on that. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So the only thing I disagreed with in your video was that you said that Hasan was basically calling himself an on-the-ground reporter because he said he was bringing his viewers reporting from the ground.
It's such a small point, but I think rewatching it, that when he said on-the-ground reporter, I think what Hasan was trying to say, I think I said this in his the last video I made about this, was he was trying to say that Hasan is bringing you the information from on-the-ground reporters through Twitter. I think that's what he was trying to say. It's like a small irrelevant point to me. Also, all he's doing is basically bringing alternative media sources to you that are unverified. Actual media like MSN, all that other stuff, they're more reliable than alternative media sources objectively. That doesn't mean that all mainstream media is bad or is perfect. They have their own narratives. They make their own bullshit up sometimes, or they have narratives. They sensationalize in different directions. They try to speak sometimes in duplicitous ways to communicate one thing when that's not really what's supposed to be communicated, but they know how the language works. But that's what Hasan is doing. So,
I thought, now I could be wrong, but I thought that what he was trying to say was that not that he was being a reporter, but that he was bringing his viewers reporting from the ground by showing tweets that had videos from reporters who were on the ground.
Yeah, that is what he was saying.
Okay.
I was being facetious and just like giving him shit, right?
Yeah,
the real.
Oh, I figured he just misinterpreted it like I did, but okay.
Weight of like
that would hurt if what WillyMac is saying, like, oh, I was being facetious. To me, that strengthens that STV Philly guy's argument that this guy's that Willie's trying to bad faith Hasan. Because when I saw that originally, I was like, oh, Hasan actually said that, and I would believe Hasan would say something crazy like that. But it just turns out Hasan like spoke in a weird way. But if Willie didn't know that, like I didn't know that, it's like whatever. But if he did intentionally do it just to dig at him, like, yeah, you can make the argument that he's bad faithing him, and that might question the credibility of other things that he's saying. I don't think that you would be strong in that stance, but you could make that argument.
Calling him an on-the-ground reporter isn't that he's actually an on-the-ground reporter. We all know he's not, right?
I am.
I'm
on the ground right now, dude.
In high.
I'm on the ground right now, pussies.
What's the word? He thinks very highly of his coverage, and then he will go ahead and say like, I do a better job, like on Piers Morgan. He goes, I do a better job than most mainstream media. But then at the same time, when he gets in trouble, then it suddenly turns into, I'm not a journalist. I don't actually, I'm just a dumb guy that streams on Twitch, right? So it's like he's trying to have it both ways. And I think that meme is just like a really funny way to just kind of poke at him, like about how ridiculous that is.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to check and see if you were actually being serious.
Actually saying okay. I don't think he was necessarily saying he's an on-the-ground journalist, but he holds himself to very high regard, where he might as well be saying that, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, sure. that was the big question. I had another question, or maybe not a question, but like a point. It was very small.
Yeah, sure.
But I did think it was funny that Hasan, and I think you played the clip actually. Hasan said that it would have been selfish for him to go on Piers Morgan uncensored.
Yeah, that's such a good
days
clip.
Later he went on, and like nobody mentioned that. I thought that was. I just wanted to make that point because I was.
Oh well, I mean, if he changed his mind, then whatever. But I think the funniest part from that clip is him being.
Well, he says that it would be selfish for him to do it because somehow what his content does is so super informative that it's like whatever good or something. No, he's just a bullshit artist.
I can't go on Piers Morgan because my news coverage is so needed. It's like, bro, what are we talking about? I don't know, man. That dude's a fucking clown.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
True.
Anyways, thanks for
baby.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on.
Good video.
I appreciate it.
So, all right, peace out.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's fine if people want to come in and disagree, and I'm not here to try and berate you or anything. I'm sorry if it came out that way with Philly, but if you're not making sense, you're not making sense. I got it.
Yeah, I like Philly. He's
I don't have any hate towards Philly.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we got.
Is that
it? All right. Well, thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh wait, we do have one more. Let me get this guy in real quick. Now there's a couple more. Okay. Hey, Dave.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Hi, I'm Dave.
Another hall monitor. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hold on, let me fix myself up here. How's it
going?
Good.
Hey, this screen's looking a little too white, guys. I think that there's a racism happening right now. We gotta. What's happening here?
Living the dream, man. Don't worry. I actually don't have any questions really. I just wanted to glaze you real quick. was a really good, really good video.
Thanks,
Thought you did an amazing appearance on Hasan. You let him show himself. He looked pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a good debater, but when you're right about like if you're just right, you don't need to be a good debater. You know?
Very based.
And I applaud you for putting up with him, just putting you on hold or like berating you while you're trying to find the information that he's asking for.
Oh, dude,
that
my friends every day
frustrating
talk more
part of
shit to
everything.
me. Like just my entire friend group. It's just constant insults. So it's not like I'm sitting there like being a bigger person taking it. I'm sitting there and I don't even hear it because my buddies call me that shit all day. So to me, like I kept getting complimented, like Willie really put up with him calling him names the whole time. It's like everybody in my life calls me names all the time. Like it doesn't mean anything.
Say so, brother.
You know?
All right, Willie No Show. Have a good one.
Brutal.
Right, the Donald Trump defense, baby. The Willie No Show. Yeah.
It hurts more than any slur, bro. You call me any mean name in the book,
I know.
that one hurts. The playground insult gets me the worst.
Willie No Show. That's the worst one. All right, man. I just wanted to pop up and say hi.
Thanks, Dave.
I've been moving for a while, so I've been in flux. I haven't been able to make my standard appearances on Tom, but they will start again. Don't you worry, Tom.
All
I will
right,
appear and say
appreciate
my
it,
hi.
man.
I'm Dave. Bye.
Later. What is Willie No Show?
Oh, Willie No Show is what Hasan called me when I didn't immediately jump on the debate.
Oh, okay. Aspiring devil.
I guess this is
Hey,
the
buddy,
next
you
person.
there?
Mic run?
Oh, I kind of hear you, bro. You're coming from
Sounds like this guy's on the ground reporting right now.
coming from hell by the sounds of it.
Better?
Yeah, a little bit. Speak loudly.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, it's a new phone.
That's a new phone? Damn, what was the old phone like? What the hell, dude? Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe turn off the video in the background
What,
as well.
what you got?
Okay.
WillyMac.
What is happening?
Are you-
Just
You there?
kill this guy.
Devil?
I mean, skip this guy.
This is great. This is what live streaming is. I'm in, dude. This is fucking awesome.
I'm sorry, Devil. We can't. We're not
next
getting
time,
out
buddy.
anything you're saying. I don't know if you got a Bluetooth like
Okay,
headset
no, I'm
somewhere.
sorry, man. I can't get. I do. Give me one second. Let me try one thing.
Okay.
This guy, we need IT support. Shit.
I think it sounds like he's got like a Bluetooth earpiece somewhere else, and he just doesn't know that it's that it's
I have
on.
no fucking clue.
Okay,
We have to just drop him, bro. I hate to be that guy.
Yeah, drop him.
Okay,
Drop it.
sorry.
I can't get to work.
Sorry, buddy. Okay.
Jesus
guy,
Christ.
All right.
That was
Yeah,
like
that's
some
it.
night quality from like 2011, dude. I haven't heard that shit in a minute.
We'll let Aaron replace him then. Aaron's always ready to go. Aaron.
Hey, what's happening, guys? How y'all feeling? Can you hear me?
Good, good. We hear you loud and clear.
Right, it's nice to
Yes.
meet you. Yeah, electronically at least. Hey, so I got a couple questions for you, actually, about your production style. Something relative to you, actually, and what makes you great. What's kept you grounded, man? Because you're part of the generation.
Is this all just glazing? Is this glazing WillyMac? Because I'm cool with it, but it is. I have to go to Thanksgiving dinner, so I'm gonna. What's the next one?
All right. Ryan, you there? You're on mute, buddy.
Oh shit! Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's up, Brian?
Sorry, I'm on my phone. I'm at work, but I was behind, and I was like, dude, I have to fucking jump in. But obviously, Philly's gone now. Like, I won't be able to fucking handle it if I have to hear like a 2-hour fucking argument from Philly with Hasan again. He's hijacked the game too many fucking times. I'm a big fan. I just want to hear you talk to other people. So
It's going in circles. I'm
All right. It seems like the rest of it's just kind of glazing, Willie, which is cool. But you know what? Perfect timing. I got to get out of here and go to Thanksgiving dinner, so we'll call it there. I think the main conversation was the better, more relevant one. So yeah, man. Good video. Good debate. Good debating. A masterful debate, some would call it.